that we reference legacy. It's important that we reference 22 twos. But this is just the beginning of what it means to have anarchic views in hip-hop. Philosophical anarchism, as introduced by Proudhon, would be a perspective that speaks about how the fundamental rights of individuals are actively harmed by the state in three ways. First, by their monopoly of violence through the police. Secondly, their monopoly of administration through home affairs, through the security and surveillance that they have. But let's extend this. Let's speak about Noam Chomsky, manufacturing consent, where we talk about the illusion of choice that constantly exists. It was then when Raskaz from hip-hop told us from Miami Life that there's a continuous perspective that's given when you come from the slums. That is to say that you do not have a choice. You do not have a choice but to continue with the price that you put up with. So when manufacturing consent, when we describe the illusion of choice, we also have to reference Raskaz, 1996, Soul on Ice. So today we're going to be delving into a very important project of mine that has been there since, while I was 6, being introduced to hip-hop via a song called Hip Hop Saved My Life. Hip Hop Saved My Life is an important song because it is not only something that I've shared with my brother, but it is something that has guided my perspective into things. So, as I've described and defined what philosophical anarchism is, what place does it have in hip-hop? So, the place it has in hip-hop is that hip-hop has never been a medium of art in which you have an acceptance of the state. State versus citizen has always been the scene in hip-hop, and we see this with the NWA saying, "Fuck the police." We see this when we talk about food, clothes, shelter by Dead Prez. We see this with Blacker the Berry by Kendrick Lamar. We see this in many perspectives where hip-hop has shown an abrasive perspective against the state in different forms. So today we're going to have a multilingual and multi-lens into how philosophical hip-hop has a place, and has a place in anarchism specifically, and we're pushing the envelope as art always has. It was only yesterday when we were describing that art is protest, that art is in literature, and that art is in academia. So today we are speaking about how philosophical anarchism is in hip-hop, to push that barrier and to push the perspective that hip-hop has carried so importantly. I think it's important, again, we bring it back to hip-hop, what we're about today, when we talk about Dead Prez and they say food.
Clothes and shelter.
Yes.
Clothes and shelter, yeah.
Yes.
I have an interesting question. I was listening to your lecture about anarchism in hip-hop, and I thought to myself, whoa, okay. It's an incredible presentation on hip-hop's capabilities to invigorate people with the power to revolt. Hip-hop's energy that enthuses us with this whole energy of rebellion. But I had this one question that I kept scratching my head on, like, I wonder what my brother's idea of anarchism is. Because I have always had this understanding that hip-hop is ironic in the sense that if you look at it historically, many would say rock, soul, and all of these other experiences and movements that came manifested themselves as kind of stick it to the man, break the establishment in a way that was very anarchistic. And the music was about kind of this, an idealism of how do we break out of the chains we're in. But how hip-hop is different is that in a way it kind of embraced the chains. Hip-hop had chants like make money, money, make money, money, money in a very early stage of its development. Hip-hop felt very capitalistic in its inception. And I've always felt like as revolutionary as hip-hop gestures or postures, it kind of still tells us that our revolution is in making money. This is how I understand it. I want to see how it is.
It's an interesting question.
It's like how in other words, hip hop. I ask this of every hip hop lover. Is hip hop anti-capitalist? Because I feel it's thoroughly like I don't think it is.
Did you ever watch Matt Damon's movie when he talks about how they founded the CIA and Good Shepherd? And he talks about, he says like the Jews of businesses, niggas of music.
Right.
Like niggas of music, like Bambi. I was like, wow. And that's the one thing that's beautiful about it, is that it's our industry that is creates. Like, I respect seeing Dre be a billionaire. I respect seeing, I don't know about Kanye anymore.
we all have a love-hate relationship
with
Mr. West.
Yeah. But even where Puff is going, you know what? But Puff, I don't know. Because I feel Puff is exactly what you were complaining about. Right? He's created that bling, blash, bang, bang, you know? That's not there. But now, I say something to myself that's interesting, right? When I'm exploring this thought. So when you sit with the guys from the South, right? And you notice them. You're like, I'm a you feel it.
Lakrit, yes, Nyansi. That's actually some real shit.
Yeah. And I understand it, like, I'm the rest. Who was I listening to? Good Lord, after COVID, my memory's gone. It's like, I'll even listen to Southern white rappers. I love it, because there's the verse,
yeah.
You know?
That whole history of Southern rap. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, you only realize it when you see it, right? Someone said to me, you won't believe it, get to Ihud, Brian, I say Iraq.
Atlanta.
It was a Baghdad. Like even as a Lokshina comes, like Abaguti, like, hey man, it can't be this bad. If you're about one crater. You know? So you can't blame them for being into that. That's why, but though the nice thing is, that's why it resonates when you have now play for Thabang Talib, Bandba, you know, by Bamba. They're getting into it. I mean, how else you going to do it? Now the problem with this thing, right? The Southern guys, and even why Trey left Death Row.
Yeah.
What if you ask you to really gangsters? But the clocks go.
Yeah.
Don't raise your shiny clocks. This is not what I came here for.
The evil that men do. Speaks about that.
I'm not about this. I'm a musician. Yeah.
No, I love gangster rap. But look at the so-called gangsters, right? Look at the so-called gangsters, right? Ice-T, Ice Cube, Dre, the NWA, Zonga is Chep Ezi. They're extremely clean and legit.
Of course, I like the fact that you're so-called.
You know? What's Zonga Chep? Then now, problem is now you listen to the Southern guys. You're like, watch them. Hey, FBI wants him.
Young Thug is in jail as we speak.
He's got a meth lab. You're like, yeah, man, but what happens to you? Like, don't you realize that you got the music thing, variety? You got like criminality. Yeah, don't go there. Like, to me, I always ask myself, I have a lot of tickets in my pocket now. I've already told myself how I condition myself. Do you know what? I'll pay for my house, buy maybe the car, and anything. But my vision was I want to go to Harvard.
Right.
That's my plan. And I'll probably get it anyway without getting the lottery. Because I was way up. You know? And that's my... So I knew you back class, man. Hey, Chep is born. It was 18 Ferrari. What the hell are you going to do for right? Like,
capitalism is thick in hip-hop. It's littered all over the place.
But it's like... We understand that it's an expression of the lack. It's an expression of when you don't have absolutely anything when it comes to the bare necessities of what constitutes a healthy life, a reasonable life. And your only mirror image of success and aspiration are these things, are the capitalist ideals of success. That's the ultimate. So obviously, those are the trinkets of the conclusion. So my question is always, but let's take it to the other side. Let's take it with so-called conscious people.
Yes.
Let's take it with people who, you know, the Roots have a regular segment on Jimmy Kimmel. They're in a nighttime show. Like I find these things. Kendrick Lamar was sitting down performing at a Louis Vuitton fashion show.
Yeah.
And yet he speaks to so-called black power. I look at these nuances and I'm like, okay, but does it make sense together?
No, but the system does this.
Before you get there, because capitalism is hegemonic in its existence, it means it will have a place in hip hop and it will necessarily dilute the message that it's meant for. The harm of capitalism is something that you have to look into if you're going to ever see hip hop as something that's anarchic. Remember, whenever we are in a space, we give way to grace the context that we're in. So if we don't understand the context that hip hop was built in a time where boom bap was something, boom bap jazz be something that was necessarily against the system. So it grows from that point. But let's flip it and be in another context where a Latin American rapper will speak about the revolution against American imperialism. Let's skip back to that. We'll talk about him, authority, who has the authority. But let's move out of that too. Let's go down to Drimanskap speaking about Zululelam, the ambition there to move out of the struggle. You cannot talk about a way to free people without relating and dealing with the struggle.
Right.
And so it's understandable that your lens of critique is seeing the integrity of it or the lack of integrity.
Right.
And it's there. There's no coincidence when rappers like Jay-Z have the goal to say, rappers are liars, I don't do satire. It's important that you show that there's a lack of integrity with being a rapper in it and of itself. But isn't there a lack of integrity with becoming a politician, a lawyer, etc.?
Same.
Because politics themselves started from a different inception than what they are today. And you can trace that from different parts of the world.
Call me a purist, man. Call me a purist in a sense that, you know, when you listen to us speak, for instance, we talk about capitalism, we talk about politics, we talk about hip hop, we talk about rap, we talk about, you know, status, society. Those are concepts. Concepts which are basically from a certain origin, a certain conception. Do you understand what I'm saying? I said, call me a purist. Yeah? Which is a concept also.
Yes.
Do you understand? And now, when we actually use these concepts to look at what we call reality or a condition, as my man put it, you know, then obviously it's gonna come with the challenges of those spectacles or those glasses or that lens.
You were here
That lens. So if you, for instance, so we can say in a fashion world that, yo, when you're wearing a diesel, you know, shade, you ain't gonna see the same, you ain't gonna see the same me as you would wear a Louis Vuitton type vibe. However, now beyond all that, there is the natural, pure life. Right? There's what is, which is beyond what we describe. Because remember now, the word is not the thing. You feel me?
Yes.
The word is only a description of the thing.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So the thing is what is without the word. However, now, for us to be able to communicate, we have to use
words. We need words.
The word. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I picture myself now to the first time I was getting into hip hop.
Right.
Yeah? It's like Mamelodi ne, and oh Lord knows, yeah, Lord knows. That shakes you to the bone, because it doesn't matter what he's saying. You picture your own world, and you can refer to that pain and that love and that love. You feel it like, hey, 18 land. So, as purists, we always want to talk about that. Because now, wow, I remember when Mbede was still talking about politics. Mandela was talking about politics. Tambo was talking about politics. Usisu was talking about politics, right? So it's good, because it reminds us of the originals, right? The team.
You know what's ironic? Let me just. You know what's ironic? Years ago, and it's really ironic that this nigga refers to himself as a purist. When I was a teenager, this guy was the first person I heard use the word pragmatic. And ever since then, I've always been like, I'm a pragmatic, because all words and ideas lead to a certain reality and a way of doing. So back to hip hop. What is hip hop manifesting? What is it doing in the world? What has it done in the world? Is it doing something that can lead us outside of capitalism? Is it yet another further doing into capitalism? What are the pragmatic results of hip hop? This is why I asked the question, because there's this romantic idea of hip hop as a freedom idea. Hip hop is an expression of black people seeking to be free from the chains that oppress them. And I'm like, cool, that's the ideal, but we still did it under the configuration of capitalism. And it doesn't look to me that we're still going out of the framework of that. Every rapper that I know seems to be playing into that same place. I've never heard a single anti-capitalist rap. I've listened very closely to hip hop in a way where I fiddled around with ideals of anti-capitalism. I tried hanging out with hippies. I tried looking at how you can actually do it. I tried looking at theorists who talk about what is anti-capitalism in a practical sense. How do you crush capitalism while living in capitalism? How do you use money to undermine money? How do you use the means of production to undermine the means of production? How do you go out there and reconstruct or destroy the whole thing in a kind of Afro-pessimist sense? Is it even possible? Or is it yet another kind of romantic idea? I don't know. I'm putting it out there.
Can I live an ideal, right? Can I live an ideal?
But I just wanted to say, I'm a pragmatist because of you.
You told me that.
Yeah.
Good, man.
Right.
Good. Can I ask you a question, though? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
All right. So, what did Black Panther feel like to you?
Black Panther.
The movie, the comic book.
Like watching
Black
Wakanda,
Panther,
right? Watching the concept of
Black
Wakanda.
Panther.
Yeah.
Watching the concept of Wakanda.
Ooh, I like that question.
Reborn, and you like, for once, it's not a Negro. These people are powerful, they're strong, they can take over the world. And you're like, you know what? Because it's soft power, it's like, I just watched Top Gun Maverick now. And I was like,
oh my God!
I was like, oh God, these guys are going to recruit more people and to bomb the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking they'll be right? Because it's soft power. It's an idea of soft power. Right? They project soft power.
Right.
So now, when you are here and you're saying to me, you think that we must leave the soft power alone. We can't. It is our soft power.
You know, my king.
I want to say something to your question first. I want to respond to your question about being a purist before you go on.
I was not questioning anything.
Yes.
Statement,
It's a statement.
Yes.
But all statements are knives to something that already exists. So that's why you beg a question with a statement. Back to being a purist and a pragmatic person. It's important we look into, Nahum Chomsky spoke about manufacturing consent. Yes, he spoke about those lenses in which we perceive reality. But then we have also in hip hop a period of time where we had battle rap, questioning what you're about, integrity, becoming a purist, pragmatism. It's important that you focus when you talk about being pragmatic. What is your purpose being here? What are you here to change? In hip-hop, you see a nuance in identity. No construct exists in its absolute form, and so is hip-hop. because it is also a construct. The truth is also a construct.
Right.
So the truth
Love it.
must have a pragmatic sense for us to implement it. It's no coincidence that when Mostef was here, he got to be stuck in South Africa because of these pragmatic questions that must be answered with your movement. It's no coincidence that Jay-Z is into prison abolitionism. It's no coincidence that Black Thought is also pushing a narrative that gets to educate the black man. Common speaks about mental health. Focus on what you're there to do. Don't try to do it all. That's how we become practical. So it is in the movement. And here in South Africa, it's no coincidence that we're at Black Power Station with someone who started this scene back in the day with different rappers. You know, I was geeking out the other day hearing that he's rapped alongside Aboyek and Black Rock. He's rapped alongside the rappers in South Africa.
Yeah.
So pragmatism is all about that, knowing your purpose in a place and moving with that agenda. Also realizing the nuances that you have. If I were to ask who here sees themselves as completely with someone who has integrity, every character here has nuance. And it's something that we need to accept in hip-hop as well. There's nuance, there's contrast, there's bad in this code. And we just have to choose.
You see my brother, my brothers, actually, you know, the wonderful thing is to, well, for me, you know, is to go beyond hip-hop. You know, because hip-hop is a movement. And so it's said to be a movement, is a movement to actually what? Right? And so acting or action, right, in its purest form. Do you understand what I'm saying? Action in its purest form is whole. You understand? It is never dualistic. It is never bipolar. It is never polarized. It is whole. Do you understand? And so within the movement, we cannot be stuck to some conclusion, definition of what we think hip hop is.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hence I said, call me a purist. Because then if we're gonna be stuck to, if we're gonna define hip hop as being capitalist, then we're gonna be still stuck in the world. If we're gonna define hip hop as being a socialist movement also, we're gonna be stuck in the world.
You said something amazing.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying, you understand, because when we understand what hip hop is, we are not meant to stop. Yes. You know, I'm from the gutter. Tupac says, I'm from the gutter. I represent the gutter. You understand? But it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna be able to make money so that I can sustain myself. Is that a contradiction? No. It's you trying to actually live within the means or within, you know, within the traps that are set there for you, but you're trying to get out. You know? Now, is that wrong? Is that right? It is what it is. However, we've been stuck in that machine for the longest time. In the sense that we still utilize the same concepts, the same ways, the same strategies. We're recycling what we want to get out of. Hence we're not getting out because we keep recycling within the same fucking dumb system. How about get the fuck out?
Can I speak to that? Can I echo a little bit?
You know, Fontaine says there's a line that he says in one of his joints. I forgot what the joint is. I think it's.
What's the line? I'll tell you the joint.
Yeah, the line says yes. The line, yeah, the line says the line says why rage against the machine when you can just unplug it?
Alright.
You get me?
Sure.
Why rage against the machine when you can just unplug it? That's all it is. It's there. You get me? It's fucking there.
I think you're speaking to what many would consider like an Afro pessimist stance. Like we're working towards the unplugging of the machine. And this is why I'm questioning the integrity of hip hop, because capitalism does something really fascinating to us. It creates what's called a hyper-realistic thing, where because capitalism knows we want to be free from it, so it creates the market of freedom,
to want to,
right?
Yeah,
so there's a whole like being woke. Being woke is a thing that fits very neatly into capitalism for people who think they know more than others. So if I feel like I know what the essence of reality is, and I get some of the subtle nuances of what life is about more than you, it's just ignorant person going on their lives, you know? I feel better about myself and listen to certain artists who mirror that, artists who see themselves in a similar light, that they're the quote-unquote conscious artists, and if there's conscious hip-hop, what's the other brand? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Mobb Deep
You know what I
said,
mean?
you shook, cause there ain't no such thing as a halfway crook. Scared to death,
You know what I
scared
mean?
to look.
And I feel capitalism plays to that. It's interesting that I see Kendrick Lamar don himself in a crown of thorns that's glittery, by the way, so it's all shiny. And he speaks to all these like really integral parts of the human experience, and he then travels to Paris after that. It's like, man, I don't know about this. It feels phony to me.
But
It feels like.
But I asked this thing, right? And the system works this way. If you are part of a breaker and you are revolutionary and you are exiting the system, so what the system does, it prices you in. It gives you what you need. It will you assimilate. Who's born and so you representative guy. Who's you are
Yeah.
Who's you are right? Who's you fight to India? Verubis with definitely come. And in fact, you know what? We think we need to give you this thing.
Right.
Now, to me, what I want to ask though, and you're going to explain this to me, I don't want to engage in nihilism.
Okay. I wanted to go there.
I
wanna engage in nihilism.
Very nice, Lando. It's very nice, nihilism. I think it's the extreme version of cynicism. Like, oh shit, it's fact. We did wrong. All systems are bad, you know. It's full everything. This is stupid. I had a chat with the lady who does the camera here. It was an interesting thing. You know, we must put religion back in politics. That he never. That he heck. Because the problem is, someone looks at a verse that says you don't sleep with this man, or you can't love this woman, or you can't eat this pork, you can't do this thing, right? And they put it in there, no babam. You know? That's why we got them out. So that's my phone. We gave them that chance. You must not pretend like that's my nigga. Somebody nigga too balaland. You Now, for me, I'll reflect on the hip hop, my jungle as an essay, right? Jungle as an essay. So I got Kenyan friends, Tanzanian friends. And they tell me one thing. Clans are well. They want two things from me. They want a box of wine, right? They want a box of wine. And they want me to bring them the latest gom, piano, house, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Over there. So I'm like, wait a minute. Now these are world-class products.
What a combination.
No, these are world-class products.
Yeah.
Flipping good wine, right?
Right.
But also brilliant music. Like I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, I don't know what they're on about sometimes. It's about Jongi. And then about Tazando, and like, okay. I don't know, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, they're rocking it. So I'm saying to myself, you know what? Am I jealous for calling them out for making money? Do you know what I mean? Why am I calling them out and saying they're not?
That's an important question.
They're not authentic.
Yes.
The best out here now, they're supposed to eat my intellectualism or whatever. But because I'm full man robbing us. And they're not robbing me. They're out there dwindling there. By Pusha, by Creator, it's there. Like, and I'm flipping it a little bit. I get so upset. I drove by the Sports Arts and Culture building today. Go empty. And my people are fucked. Because this is the one place where arts and culture makes money. Right? So they should be at full work today. Figuring out my shit. That's on X app. I'm not generating because I'm printing posters. So for Monday, they're gonna tell you about some meeting that's before about something. This guy has you. But fuck it, the art festival is happening. It's here. Then you realize, but you know what, these guys, let's about sideline, yes. They're not even in the deal. But now that's my problem where hip hop was gone. It really fell apart. Indian see that one. It's the same route now that you want to corrupt to mind but like I listened to it and I was like, I love the South guys, but I also was very concerned about John. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bruh? We are Jacob the jeweler. Oh, how you go down in New York? Like, what the fuck? Like, what's that about?
Grills and slugs.
Look, to have a tat, I love it. I got problem. But now to have a face tat and half your body's covered in it, like I got normal. You've gone to the stage now where we're abnormal. That one? So I'm like, yes, booze, but you know what? Are we using this thing to, and I know you guys are conscious, right? You listen to it properly. You know the good guys that brought you up and Manbambile window, you know? By Todd. But I'm looking at these kids and I'm like, yes, if they seeing, not even, I'm not a kid cootie, but they seeing Abandu Ababa and Jabba Komai. They think that's life.
Yeah.
You know what?
This is what I mean.
They think that's life.
You asked a very important question. These kids are making money. Here's my accusation towards hip-hop. I've never seen a hip-hop practitioner use money in ways that seem to be undermining capitalism. It feels to me like we're presented with the idea of certain artists as revolutionary in their spellbinding abilities of articulating our experience and our struggle. And when they get money out of that, they just do the same things that exacerbate the struggle. For me, anti-capitalism looks like rappers buying land to create solidarity economies where niggas can try to start again and become something beyond niggas and just figure out what the fuck are we if we aren't American? What the fuck are we if we don't have all of these trappings that we've become accustomed to?
Yeah.
Is it possible to, that's why I asked the question of anarchism, no rule, breaking the measure of all things that limit us.
Yes.
I've never felt it in hip hop. I'm like, nigga, it feels, the prose and the poetry of revolution is always there, you know?
Yes.
Niggas know how to look the part, the beret, the ndondo, and we know what revolution feels like. It's like the EFF.
What it looks like.
You know, the optics of it all.
Yeah,
but it's like the reality.
However, that is important. Do you understand what I'm saying? The prose, the poetry there, it's important. Do you understand what I'm saying? I actually think what even it inspired you to say what you're saying now, it's because of that.
You're fucking right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's because of that.
Yeah.
However, that's why I'm saying
But does it have to be a cycle?
We get stuck. We get stuck. We don't move. It's like if you understand. It's like if you understand. This is why I like etymology so much. I don't just dwell with being told. Experience, and I'm sticking with that word.
Right.
And the explanation that I get from whatever source that I get.
Fuck, where that come
This is
from?
experience, and experience means ha ha ha. And then I get there, and I'm stuck there, and I'm like, whoever asks me what is experience? This is experience. However, because of our conditioning, societal conditioning, you understand, which goes deeper and deeper and deeper, because the thing is, for me, hence I go back and I'm saying, call me a purist. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the thing is, when you get stuck, you know, in concepts, terms, names, you know, all this fucked up man-made shit, you get stuck. You don't see. You're looking, but you don't see. So what I'm saying is.
Right.
So this is hip hop, right? Like I could listen to the whole Let's Get Free album.
Yeah.
And tell you, without actually even doing any fucking research, and tell you that a track called be healthy, revolutionize the whole fucking generation.
Right.
But practice, where's the practice?
Listen to this.
Yes.
The funny, fucking amazing thing about it is that we all became vegans and vegetarians. You feel me? From that fucking album. From that fucking song.
There's pragmatism. There's purist.
You feel me?
Yes.
And so I'm saying it is then important that the prose, the poetry, the words, the raps, because now we're going to talk about culture. Now, what is culture? Because the thing is, when we talk about hip-hop and we start seeing hip-hop as market, then we have a problem. Because the whole concept and conversation of underground and commercial comes from simply because what was and is still underground, from those that understand, is that underground is what you don't find on the shelves.
Right.
Yes.
You understand? Underground is what I actually sell for my fucking backpack. You understand? If there's no backpack, I'm selling it from my boot. If I have a car, if I'm fucking riding a bicycle, I'm selling it from the fucking whatever. You understand? Or I'm walking selling my shit.
There's a verse and
That's underground, nigga.
yeah.
That's underground.
But then
Now when we talk about commercial, we're talking about barcoded shit. Barcoded shit means that shit is actually registered into the system. I can find it on the shelves. Then we're talking about commercial shit. Then
It isn't.
Then now the conversation is, you see now, the conversation to whoever is stuck to those man-made politics, you know, capitalism, socialism, communism, all that fucking shit, and not understanding why we still have a record like Things Fall Apart from the Roots, which was barcoded.
Yes.
Okay, I'm even taking it. I'm even taking it from early, like I've been recent. Like man, you will still have, because for me, hip hop, this is not being stuck with. Call me a purist. Fucking. Man, come on, man.
Call me
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, calm down now.
Jimi Hendrix is hip hop, man.
Anarchist, Purist, Pragmatist.
Why you
Here's my
start?
thing. CRP. Nayo yonke le kahle.
CRP, ufuna wena.
Lan ufuna yapi?
Ufuna wena.
Ufuna uyazi.
That's the question. Ufuna wena. Where do you want to go? You see?
I look at a cat, I look at a dog, and I look at an insane person.
Yeah.
And that's freedom to me. Because those animals, unlike me, are oblivious to the ideological weight of structure and everything. They go on their lives. And I lean ideas like that from anarchism. I understand anarchism as a breaking of the artificial.
Because then nothing matters. Not what you came here with, not what you're wearing, not where you are, but that very note.
And that's because the very because now
Underground is a thing. Yes.
I see what you're talking about.
What I love about art is beautiful, but you must realize one thing: you have to work harder than the factory worker.
Way harder.
Product, yeah, gonna be harder than the factory worker. In fact, you've chosen the most difficult life because only by 100. If we use the capitalist system, 3 of you never. 3 of you never.
How many people call themselves artists? How many call themselves rappers? How many? Way too many.
The most difficult profession. We can't. It's fine with friends, but I you know, I too. So the man really is so easy to check out. it's easy to check out of the system. It's unfair. It's grinding.
Why do you think, or why do you feel that you have a monopoly or an authority to say someone does not have the right to say or call themselves artists?
The reason why hip hop is anarchic is because it says that we don't need that definition. We don't need it from any institution. No accreditation that you are this. So the great thing that anarchism got to do, it got to teach people that you don't need to receive any of their identity and indications and labels from the world for you to
Where are the origins of anarchy? Where are the origins of anarchy? Where do we get the word anarchy from?
We get it from Proudhon.
Which time? Which time? Like, which
Hold
time
on, hold on. One thing that we can know about concepts, right?
Yes.
Is that irrespective of where they originate, nobody can determine where they eventually grow into. So I don't know where we might be going into where these terms come from. But one thing I do know is that when the term bitch was created, nobody foresaw Nicki Minaj using it as a term of empowerment. So one thing I know about words is that it don't matter where they come from. You can always flip it around. That's why I don't believe people who say, you know, amazwa yadala. I'm like, nigga, amazwa yadala, whatever I put into it. If somebody calls me a kafir, it only offends me if I believe what kafir means.
I'm a contrarian view, right?
Right? Talk to me.
The same Baghdad I saw, I was like, I'm never gonna use this word nigga again the way I used to.
Yeah.
And pass, because I've seen what it actually is meant to be and what it's creating. Like the shock to my system, right? When Sicho grew, they told me that X up. I went into they call it the Blacks and Wax Museum, and they show you Ikota a slave. I'm 6'1". Ilap. Ikota a slave. Ilap. You never need that quote. A day. It's awesome. So the master's gonna beat you. He's gonna niggerize you.
Right.
So I'm saying to myself, even if they guess it, why am I buying in by using this?
The term?
Yeah, ditch. Why am I not buying in by using this? Because I've understood now, for me, be reflectant.
That's meaning.
That's why I said, and it took a guy from there one time to say, right, Chap, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Come with me, I'll show you. Now I'm under this one. So we're now we're a firm. So now I choose not to be that in the end. There's a ranch. Okay. No, you had to. Now in the context of it's not something, it's not a Damascus moment or something, it's bad man. It's not like okay, I get it.
But that's still playing into meaning. He brought you inside of an experience where the significance or the signification of the word nigger attaches itself to that particular experience, and you looked at it and you registered it according to what nigger signified to you before, and there was a conflict. I feel like it's a conflict of signification. Again, it's not the word. The word nigger is a sound that could mean absolutely anything. It's a container for whatever experience you choose. And I feel like the fact that Africans in the America, or African Americans, or however you want to refer to Africans in the diaspora, decided to flip that word around to such an extent that now Kendrick Lamar can be at a show and stop the show because a white person used the term and is trying to tell you can't do that. You know what I mean? That's how the power dynamic of the word nigger has shifted, where white people know they can't say it in public. And that's what I love about meaning, is that it's up to you. It's not up to history. You can tell me about all of the terrible past that this word has been through. But if I say, okay, cool, I want to change that.
But now what's lovely about this, right?
Yeah.
So this Egyptian guy doesn't realize I'm South African. And the move applies to the kafir.
Touched.
Right?
Touched.
And I'm like, okay, I get who's cares about the fact that we are non-believers.
Right.
So it took fucking mercenaries that were in Sudan and Egypt to to come and bring that word
Right.
to South Africa. Right? British killers. So when I see Kafa, right, Elakam, I also see Colonel Graham.
Right.
I also see Captain Fraser.
Yeah.
Do you know what the problem with those two was? Those two were too good in the Irish Civil War. They killed too many Irishmen. They're like, listen, go to Africa, boys. Your guys' blood is too hectic. Ibulale too many people up. That's who we named ourselves after, right? That's what that guy did. He was a butcher and a murderer.
Right.
Fraser, Babulale. But so bad. I'm not even talking about black people first. I'm talking about what he was doing island.
Right.
What? No. Kabui. The way you're doing this thing now,
Hardcore.
and now we live there and we name things after these things. We Ligazi. I should say to my uncle, I said, yes, when I drive past this place, I feel the weight, man. Fair band.
But it's, I see it about naming these places.
Yeah, wait, but
when I say ICT, I mean it's not us black people. You understand? It's not us African, indigenous people of this land. Yeah,
but stay here. Gents, why do we go further?
Right.
But now we come with other things. So now you're dissonance now. You're not dissonance. You're confused now.
Because again, it's here's what I'm saying. Words are signifiers.
Yes.
They look. I'm gonna lean into your purist inclinations, and I'm gonna say there's something indescribable that kind of permeates into the aura of life, and somehow through biology, this ineffable thing navigates its way through language. This is how we as human organisms operate in the living world. We cannot communicate in any terms other than language right now. Our language, these coded gestures and symbols, these sounds we use, these are sounds, these are oral mouth sounds that we are using that are attached to memories and ideas and experiences. And I'm saying these sounds themselves don't hold any particular energy. They're simply markers. They're like a stop sign. And a stop sign just tells you what to do. And it's because somebody designed it to do that and told you that that's what you should do when you see that kind of a sign. Words do the same thing in an oral field, but now the only difference is, imagine if you could switch what a stop sign means to you, because the traffic of your own head is something you can navigate around, right? So nigga, kafir, I can say, fuck, I am a kafir. I don't believe in whatever the fuck you think I should. I'm a non-believer. I am a kafir, even in the Arabic sense. The construct of divinity and reality doesn't fit into an Islamic idea. So if you think that's what I am, fuck it, maybe that is what I am. You know? So if I take kafir ngolo hlobo instead of a slur that is attached to the bondage and ipulu and this towering figure of apartheid and the architect of whatnot. See, it's a powerful. That's why I feel women did in hip hop. They went, "Ow, I'm a bitch. Oh, maybe I am a bitch. You know what? I'm a bad bitch too. Not only a bitch, but I'm a bad one." And now, bitch with bad in it is something that even men can't use.
Exactly.
Because women
bad
empowered
bitch.
it so much that it's theirs now. It's a term that belongs to them. We go, "Bitch, are you crazy?" And they say, "Yes, I am."
Tupac actually fucking redefined thug. You get me? You feel me?
From like a
Thug.
word which originated from
You
little
understand?
Indian robbers.
Yes. He redefined
Yeah,
that.
I'm a
We're talking about a teenager.
And
Talking
Tupac
about
said
a
the
flipping
hate you gave.
teenager.
You know what I mean?
Who defined. So going back to what I was saying also, that the description is only a description of the described. It can never be the described.
Yeah.
Words are just words.
You know what you're engaging?
However, there's that pure
We're talking about.
No, not even.
I was hoping
You know what you've done? You know what you've done?
There's-
That's beautiful.
There's that untouched, untapped nothing.
The mistake we make, Tina, we sit here now, we're observing something, right?
Yeah.
And we give ourselves this distance from it. Kanti, the fact that I'm observing it, it affects me.
Yes.
And I'm affecting it. And I'm affecting it. And I'm affecting it. So what you say is that you constantly have in a fight of reflexism.
It's integral.
So you've got to keep up with it. Because now I just want to finish it a little bit. I just want to finish it. Because problem then becomes, right? We start getting caught up in concepts for concepts' sake.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not what we were there for.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were there for that. You said that you loved the hip hop for you because I know how it made me feel.
Right.
Right? I don't know color, but I used to listen to hip hop and that's why I cried.
Yeah.
You know? That's, but you know, I'm not someone like that. But okay, the song has gotten me to where I need to be. So it's like, to me now, I'm like, you have to be reflexive about that. But what does it do to you? You know, what you and to me, when you ask me that question, right? But where is it going? I'm gonna say to you, you're in a space where you're wondering where things are going. That's your space, and it's a good space. You know what? And yes, you're using hip hop as one of the pictures you use, but the actual question was about and it's like that's the question I like. I like it because I'm saying, yeah, good. But I'm like, okay, we beat up hip hop a little bit because it's Funbu's Alando. But the actual question is, see, that's where you're going with it.
Right.
You're like saying, man, fuck this thing, we fucked. we continue like this, you know what? Singing, you know? And now, that's when I say, but you know, I love history because if you listen to, is it Socrates who said, they don't listen to their parents, they don't follow us, they don't come through. You think that statement was said yesterday, you know, or your dad just said it to you, you know, mom just said it to you. Kandi, it's a battle as long as we are civilized. And now that's the nice thing about us being civilized, right?
Right.
Is that we have a different language in that now. When it comes to meeting a woman, unlike a dog, you just don't mount her. You have to charm her. And that's the beauty of language. You have to charm her, you have to talk to her. She has to be receptive when you're doing that. Look, there are people that don't do that.
Yeah, there are people that don't do that.
The beautiful thing, the beautiful don't do that.
And we look down on them now.
The beauty in what you're saying, though, my brother, is that when you say the beauty of our language is we don't just mount. You know, that's the beauty according to us. Perhaps to the dogs, the beauty of
life is
their
mountain.
language is mountain.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So this is where I'm going to. So this is where I'm going to. Where I'm going to is nowhere in this sense.
It's nihilism.
So
Yeah, that's what we do. I know. We go to nihilism. Let's go to nihilism. I want it. I want it. I want us to go
so
there.
the beauty of it is this. You know, we have the challenge of time, which is movement. Because in actual fact, time does not exist.
Yes.
Time does not exist.
Let's go.
Let's
go.
Okay. Let's go.
Time does not exist. Time is a movement. Time is a movement from this moment
To the next. Right.
or from this moment to the previous.
Time is consequence.
There you go. So time is that.
Consequence.
However, there's essence which time cannot touch. Time cannot touch the essence.
I am calling you a purist for real.
Yes. Time cannot touch the essence. The essence exists without time. However, time needs the essence to exist.
To exist. And the essence needs time.
So it is.
Right.
You understand? So it is.
Here's, now,
it is.
here's what I want to say. My
You
brother,
see? So it is.
Okay.
So it is.
my
Yes,
brother
it's
made a very powerful point.
Yes.
My question is, where the fuck are we going? And when I ask the question of where are we going, it is in a sense where I don't actually really, let me be honest, let me come out of the closet. I don't think we're going anywhere. But I think it is so important to ask that question.
So you're
Because,
also an
yeah, like I'm
Okay, I didn't see that
But where
coming.
is an anarchist?
But it's okay.
Run away
It's
from an
okay.
nihilist.
No, we should
But where is an
wait.
anarchist? Run away from a nihilist.
No.
Nahum
but
gave me
here's
the
the
courage to
conversation.
finally come out and say we're not going anywhere.
Okay.
But it looks like we're going somewhere. Because through the Socrates quote, you express something which I feel is beautiful to witness as we watch history.
Yeah.
How history is a pattern of things that seem to be recurring. And what we get from history is an inescapable urge to be retrospective about things. And from retrospect, we extract things from history and we are obsessed then with progress. We want to do better than our ancestors. And we have a language of optimization. You know? I gotta be better than, you know, and we look at things as if they're building. And what that has done is that it's created a hierarchy of things. Because optimization is a dangerous notion. It is from the idea of optimization that we get ideas like savage noblemen, you know, good and evil.
Damn right.
This whole idea
Slave
that
master.
slave master, these ideas, you motherfucker, I'm gonna leave you there in the dark ages while I head to the light of the future, where technology and peace awaits. You know. And I think bullshit, because that technology and peace is going to be as brutal as that, and then you're going to be the new problem that other people are going to have to fix. And that's what I love about life.
Now,
Is that every solution is a problem.
Let him respond.
So, one, we reject optimization.
Yes.
Because within the language of anarchism, we have mutual interest. Mutualism is the concept in which we understand that we have to survive. So a rejection that time is not a real construct. Time is a construct in that it gets to measure your lifetime. No one here is immortal. Therefore, time has a consequence.
Right.
But we have to reject a specific language. Yes.
Yeah.
So, time as a construct is there. It is a construct. However, we cannot make the claim that it is not real. Nor can we make the claim that optimization is not a problem, because we see the falsehood of how there's a recurring set of system back to hip-hop and how anarchism has a place there. Remember, I spoke about mutualism in the sense that this is where we're going to find a collective that has an interest in something. That's the conception. It's open, it's general, but let's put some meat into it. There's a conversation.
Let's finish the conversation. What I like about this,
before you leave, my brother, before you leave, right, I would like to say, to you, one who rejects and accepts, right? You understand? One who rejects or accepts is a reaction.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
One who rejects or accepts
I get you.
is a reaction. Now, a reaction is a result of whatever. That's a reaction.
Yeah.
A response, however, is what time cannot break, start, nor end.
Okay.
Yeah? You feel me?
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes, I feel you.
Yeah, my brother. So, time then, being a result of,
Love it too.
you understand? Time then being a result of the essence.
Okay. Entity versus what is.
Yes.
Okay.
For time,
sure.
time to exist, it needs space. Yeah?
It's dependent. Yeah.
For time to exist, it needs space. There's no time
without space.
without space.
Hence, Einstein decided to combine them and say space-time.
But now, hang on, guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
Isn't this what happens? Isn't this what happens to us? And this is the same
Fuck
thing.
Einstein,
This is the same
fuck
thing
all
with-
these motherfuckers. I don't know. Fuck all these motherfuckers.
Yeah, pounds out.
Einstein.
Yo.
I ain't talking
It's
about
been a
none of
headspace, my
this.
brother. Please talk to the people, whatever you want to say. This shit is on camera. It's the best headspace episode ever, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
Damn right. I'm Khanyisa Mqotyana.
Yeah.
A hip-hop enthusiast, a speaker, debater, poet, a marketer. And what I am here about is the love, the freedom that I'm offered here at the Black Power Station. This is home, and hip-hop has always been home.
Peace.